Grief is a strange thing. Some days, it feels like a fog you can't walk through. Other days, a tidal wave crashes into you out of nowhere, knocking you breathless all over again. I thought I knew grief. I thought I had survived it, until last week. Until the moment I found out. My husband, the man I buried, might still be alive. Eric and I were high school sweethearts. You know the type: awkward teenage glances, first kisses, senior prom memories frozen in photographs. We got married at 23, moved into a tiny yellow house on Maple Drive, and dreamed of a future filled with road trips, lazy Sunday mornings, and maybe, someday, kids. Life was simple. And perfect in its simplicity. Until the accident. It was raining that night. I remember it so vividly because I had just texted him, "Be safe. Roads are slippery." He never replied. At 6:12 p.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered, and the moment I heard "I'm sorry," my knees gave out beneath me. They told me a drunk driver had swerved into his lane at high speed. Eric's car was totaled. He was pronounced dead on the scene. It felt like the earth had cracked open and swallowed me whole. His funeral was surreal. Closed casket. Severe injuries, they said. Family and friends huddled around me, offering condolences I barely registered. I remember gripping the edges of the coffin, trying to imagine him inside. It didn't feel real. None of it did. Weeks blurred into months. I slept on his side of the bed, clutching his favorite hoodie. I refused to move his toothbrush. I kept setting 2 plates for dinner. Grief had become my shadow. I visited his grave every Sunday, sitting under the old oak tree that he used to love. Sometimes I spoke to him. Other times I just sat there, silently, trying to feel close to him. I thought the worst was over. I thought I was finally beginning to heal. Until that day, when everything shattered all over again. Last Thursday was normal, or so I thought. Scrolling through Facebook, half distracted, when a people you may know suggestion popped up. I almost kept scrolling, until a random family photo caught my eye. The Johnsons. A family I didn't know. Smiling in front of a cabin in the woods. Parents, 2 teenage kids, and standing slightly to the back. Was a man. Tall. Brown hair. Familiar stance. I froze. My heart thundered in my ears. It couldn't be. It couldn't be. But it was. Eric. My dead husband, standing in someone else's family photo, alive. I zoomed in. My hands shook so badly that I dropped my phone. Same crooked smile. Same dimple on the right cheek. Same scar near his left eyebrow from a childhood bicycle accident. It was him. Panic. Disbelief. Anger. Hope. 1,000 emotions collided inside me. I dug deeper. The Johnson family had a public profile. They lived 2 states away. No previous posts with Eric, or whoever this man was, until 2 years ago. Meaning, a full year after Eric's supposed death. I couldn't breathe. I needed answers. 2 sleepless nights later, I found myself driving 6 hours out of state, fueled by cold coffee and sheer desperation. I parked a few houses away from their address, an average suburban home with a blue front door. And there he was. Taking out the trash. Laughing with one of the teenagers. Wearing a hoodie that looked just like one I had given him for Christmas years ago. It wasn't a doppelganger. It was him. But he wasn't limping. The limp he had after the car accident that broke his ankle, gone. He moved freely, effortlessly. Who was this man? The next day, I waited outside a local grocery store. When he walked out, plastic bags dangling from each hand, I stepped in front of him. Eric. I whispered. He froze. His face paled. Sorry. I think you have the wrong person, he mumbled. But the tremble in his voice betrayed him. It's me. It's Laura. Your wife. People started to stare. He looked around, panicked. Please, he whispered, voice shaking. Not here. He handed me a slip of paper, a coffee shop address, before rushing off. I waited at that coffee shop for an hour, heart in my throat. Finally, he appeared. Hoodie pulled low, eyes darting around. And then, he confessed. He wasn't in a car accident that night. He faked his death. Turns out, Eric had been living a double life for years. Massive gambling debts. Dangerous people are involved. The only way to protect me, and himself, was to disappear. He paid a corrupt coroner to falsify records. A closed casket sealed the rest. Then, he built a new life. New identity. New family. They think I'm their uncle, he said. A runaway brother who came back into their lives. He swore he never stopped loving me. But he knew if he contacted me, I'd be in danger. I sat there, staring at the man I loved, who had shattered my world into a million pieces, not knowing if I wanted to slap him or fall into his arms. I haven't told anyone. Not my family. Not my friends. I just left. I drove 6 hours back home, sobbing the entire way. I don't visit his grave anymore. I don't wear his hoodie anymore. In a way, Eric did die that night. Or at least, the man I knew did. Sometimes, the dead don't stay dead. But the love you bury never comes back the same. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. These stories remind us that truth can be stranger than fiction, and sometimes, more painful. If you found this story powerful, thought-provoking, or even just eye-opening, I'd love for you to join our community. We share real, raw, and sometimes unbelievable stories that speak to the heart, challenge perspectives, and keep you thinking long after the video ends. So if that sounds like your kind of content, please consider subscribing, giving this video a like, and turning on notifications so you never miss the next twist. Your support helps us tell more stories that deserve to be heard. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and always question what's real.
Loneliness creeps in like an unwanted light. I search for your face in a sea of regret. Your memories are ghosts that I can't forget. We danced on the edge of a love so fierce. Now I'm left with the songs your absence pierce. You were my symphony, my solemn tune. Now echoes of sorrow fill up this room. Shadow